friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie and today we're going to be talking about setting up a small group at your church. If you've clicked on this video, the likelihood is that you are interested in setting up a small group at your church. So what I'm going to do is talk you through how I set up the ladies meeting at my church and just some ways and ideas that you could do the same. The most important thing you can do if you are considering setting up a small group at your church is of course to pray about it. Go to God, tell him why you want to start it. So for me personally, it was because I really wanted a women's group in our church. I thought that I would benefit greatly from being around ladies who've been Christians for a lot longer than I have, and also help myself grow by mentoring younger Christians. So I wanted somewhere that we could kind of have a discussion about the Bible and we could all learn from each other, as well as having a close-knit fellowship group where we could go to each other for prayer requests. So that was my main intention, to have the women in the church have somewhere that they could all go together and we become even closer knit as a family of believers. So I would definitely recommend going to God first and foremost and just telling him all of your plans, asking him to give you wisdom, asking him to point you in any direction of the right way to go and what to study or to talk about at your sessions. And then when you feel like you've got in your head what you want to do, so you might want to do a Bible study that's going to last 6 weeks. You might want to do just a fellowship night once a month where it's like a pizza night, taco night, fajita night, whatever you want it to be. Or you might want it to be a prayer group. Whatever it is that you've decided that you would like to lead, I would then recommend going to your church elders, whoever the leadership team is at your church, and talking with them about it. Tell them your ideas and what it is that you would like to do. And they can look at the church schedule and just see where your group can fit in. And they can also discuss with you who it is that you would like to invite along. So if it's just the ladies or if it's just the men, they can then announce that to the church and open it up to those people. Okay, so moving on from that, you've been to the elders, they've said yes, that's no problem, you can go ahead and lead that meeting. It's then been announced in church and you've got your handful of people that would like to come along to your meeting. Next, you need to think about where you're going to hold your meeting. So if it's going to be somewhere that you're going to have food, will you need somewhere with a kitchen or will you be ordering in or buying in the food? Because if you need somewhere with a kitchen, you need to keep that in mind. So previously I used to run a women's meeting at my church, and we used to run it in my home, which was absolutely fine because it was just me and Dan, and I had a little baby, Ryan, who would always be asleep by like 6:30 at night, so it was no problem. But then when my other son Thomas came along, it was a little bit too much to have it in my house anymore because obviously I had children and we wanted to be able to talk and discuss things, and you can't really do that when you've got little children in the house and you're banishing your family out of the living room so that you can hold a meetings. But we are very fortunate at our church and we do have a church hall that's available to use. So I picked a night where the church hall wasn't being used and I now transform it into a very girly space. I add cushions and throws and donuts and lots of lovely decorations to make it really feel special for the ladies who come along to my group. So I'll be sure to show you a little bit of that footage and you can see like how we transform the space for the ladies meeting. So this is the space that we work with, and as you can see it's quite like cold and not very cozy vibes for a ladies meeting. So what I do is I close these doors and then we set up the couches, put down a rug, some plants and things, and just make it really cozy, and then I put snacks over here. So I'll set it up now and then I'll show you what it'll look like. So then by the end, this is what it looks like. Not amazing, but much more cozier than it was. So I just set up this table and I'll show you later on, but I'm going to add some cookies, maybe some donuts, some cakes, just some nice sweet treats for the ladies to enjoy. And then we usually make a cup of tea and we just set out the cups and everything in the middle. But tonight it'll be a bit darker, we'll turn on the lights, a bit of ambience, and yeah, this is what it looks like ready for ladies. I hope I'll be your life-changing sensation. I hope I'll be something that you won't let go. So I'll just show you some of the things that we've used in the past for our ladies meeting, because I don't want you to think that you have to plan this whole kind of 6 weeks worth of work and worksheets and things. There's a lot of study guides out there already for you. My first ever ladies meeting was based around Priscilla Shira's War Room. So what I did was I invited all of the ladies along to my house and we watched the movie War Room and we had snacks and things, and then afterwards we discussed the movie. And then I was very fortunate that the church agreed to pay for this book for every single lady who came along too. So everybody who came got a copy of this book, which is inspired by the movie War Room, which actually stars Priscilla Shirer, who is the author of this book. So this was a really good introduction for me as a leader of this women's ministry, because everything was prepared for me. So we watched the movie, then we got the book, and then we went through it a chapter a week. And then I also got this leader's study guide, which goes along with the movie. The great thing about this is that it comes with a video study guide as well. So each week you watch a video which is around 2 to 4 minutes long, and the topics include dealing with spiritual lukewarmness, Christian accountability, grasping grace in the gospel, engaging in spiritual warfare, and trusting God in prayer. So you watch the video and then it sets up, let me just show you. So it gives you a little bit of things to talk about. It gives you a Bible verse to read, and then it asks questions which you can then put to the ladies in your group and they can answer them. And it even gives you ideas for worksheets that you can give out, or you could just do this on a big flip chart all together or in small groups and come together with your answers. So this was really, really helpful for me for my first ever Bible study group. So that's the first one we did. Then, because we enjoyed that one so much, we did the Priscilla Shirer Armour of God, which some of the ladies found harder because this has daily study in it. So we would always come together on a Thursday night and we discuss what we had studied for that week. But some of the ladies said that they didn't have time to do each day's work, but it was fine because we just discussed what each person has done. So just bearing in mind that you may have the expectation that people will complete everything that you ask them to complete for the following week. But please just bear in mind that a lot of people don't do that. They don't have the time, or they might just not be interested in doing all the written kind of side of things. So a study like this might not be for your ladies, so it's just so it's worth bearing that in mind and getting to know them before you give them this kind of study, because my ladies definitely preferred this type where they would just come along, watch a quick video, and then we would do a discussion rather than homework. And then at the moment, I was inspired by reading Francine Rivers' Lineage of Grace, which is a study on women in the Bible. And then one of the ladies at my church gave me this book, which is a study guide called 10 Women of the Bible. So what I'm currently doing is I'm using both of these books. I'm using clips that I find on YouTube and things, and we are just doing a short monthly study on different women in the Bible. So this month we are looking at Rahab. So we've read the story. I've sent the ladies a video clip about Rahab from Rahab's point of view, which I found on YouTube, and it was really good. And then I've been using these books to send the ladies a couple of questions which relate to the story of Rahab and everyday life. And the way that I'm doing that is I've set up a WhatsApp group with just the ladies in it, and I just post in there on a Monday a couple of questions. And then when we meet together, which at the moment is only once a month rather than every week, we then discuss the questions that I've posed to them across the month. And the way that I'm really liking to run it at the moment is we do half an hour of fellowship time where I provide snacks. We play some games which are Christian related. It might be just a bit of Bible trivia, like a Bible quiz or something, or it might be an icebreaker if we've got new members where we can get to know each other a little bit better, that kind of thing. And then we do half an hour study on whichever lady that it is that we're looking at for that month. So far it's been working out really well. This is the first time where I haven't had kind of a structured plan in place, but I am finding it okay at the moment. I do prefer to have kind of a scripted guide, but this way is growing me as a leader. So I'm all for trying to grow as a leader. And I do think it's important as well when you start a small group to just sit and list out some group rules. So things like confidentiality, because sometimes women will open up in a group and tell you some really personal things. So it's just important that everyone understands that what is said in the group needs to remain confidential. Also, that we don't talk over the top of each other, and that we truly listen to what each other is saying. And it's also very important when you're leading a group to just be aware that there will be differences in opinions on certain things. Also making sure that those opinions are biblical. So you do need to be in the Word of God all of the time. You need to be praying about your group, praying about your group members. And if you don't feel super confident on biblical theology and things, having other people there who you know are, so that they can kind of come in if anybody's saying anything that is inaccurate. But yeah, I just think the most important thing you can do is pray about it, pray about the people who are in your group, and just keep consistent with it and keep communication going in the group as well, so everybody feels comfortable and a part of the group. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.
You watch me under the light, so keep me in your sight, 'cause I can do this all night.